It's the technology that is suddenly just everywhere. It's writing our emails, it's creating incredible art. I'm talking, of course, about generative AI. It is so powerful and so complex, and it presents this really fascinating challenge for all of us. How do we understand both its incredible promise and its potential risks? So, let's get into it.
Just take a look at this face for a second. The detail, right? The emotion in her eyes, the artistry. It's just captivating. But here's the thing. This person isn't real. She was never born. She never lived a single day. Her entire existence was imagined and then rendered by a machine.
And that really brings us to the central question here. If a human didn't paint this or take a photograph of her, then what did? Well, the answer is a totally new kind of digital creation, a generation by artificial intelligence.
Okay, so what exactly is generative AI? Let's break it down. Here's the core idea. I want you to think of it like an art student who has studied, every single painting in every museum in the entire world. It doesn't just copy one of them. Instead, it learns all the patterns, the brush strokes, the way artists use color, the composition. Then, when you ask it to make something new, it uses that unbelievable wealth of knowledge to create something totally original, but still feels human-like. And this is really where it shines in our world. It's a tool, right? It sparks creativity by making images like the one we just saw. It powers automation by, say, writing computer code or summarizing a dense report in just a few seconds. And it helps with problem solving by digging through complex data to find solutions we might have totally missed.
And I'm willing to bet this isn't just some abstract idea for you. If you've ever asked a question to ChatGPT or used Google's Gemini or even had Microsoft Copilot help you write an email, well, then you've already used this incredible technology yourself.
All right, so now that we've got a handle on what it is, let's look at the bright side of the coin, the amazing promise of AI.
Yeah, this technology isn't just a cool party trick. It offers some seriously powerful advantages that are already changing how we all work and live.
Think about it. By taking over repetitive tasks, AI saves us a ton of time and cuts down on simple human mistakes. And that frees us up to focus on the big picture, which actually boosts our own creativity. And what's the result of all that? Well, it's a huge jump in productivity and efficiency, which can lead to some major cost savings for businesses. And for us too. It all sounds pretty perfect, doesn't it? But you knew there was a but coming, right? Just like with any other game-changing technology, the story doesn't end there. Every powerful tool has its risks, and we have to be willing to look at them head-on. So now, let's flip that coin over and explore the perils, the shadow side of generative AI.
Because while we get excited about all the potential, we just can't afford to ignore the very real downsides. Ignoring them would be like getting the keys to a brand new sports car without having any idea where the brakes are.
So here are some of the big concerns. AI can hallucinate, which means it confidently makes up false information. There was a wild story about a lawyer who used ChatGPT, and it actually cited completely fake legal cases in a real court filing. Then, of course, there are real fears about jobs being displaced and the risk of our private data being leaked or used to create very convincing misinformation and deepfake.
And this brings up a really interesting contradiction. How can AI both enhance creativity and lack it? It's a fantastic tool for sparking human ideas, for getting us over a creative block, but it doesn't understand what it's making. It isn't feeling inspiration. It's just mimicking patterns. And that's a really important distinction to make.
Okay, so we've got this immense promise on one side and some pretty significant perils on the other. This leaves us with, really, the most important question of all. What's our path forward? How do we find the balance? Well, first, we just have to acknowledge the reality of the situation. The genie is out of the bottle. These tools are already tangled up in our daily lives, for work, for homework, for entertainment, and that's only going to increase. And this might be the most crucial point. The technology itself is neutral. It's not good or bad. The focus has to be on us, on the people using it. It's all about whether we choose to use it ethically and with good intentions. So that brings us to a few simple, practical steps. First, know the do's and don'ts. This means always fact-checking important information the AI gives you, because as we've seen, it can just be plain wrong. Second, be really mindful of what you share with it. Treat that little input box like it's a public forum. Don't ever type in company secrets or private medical details or your financial info. And finally, by doing those two things, you start to build a healthy sense of security. It allows you to use these amazing tools with confidence, without being naive about the risks. So in the end, it really all comes down to this. Like a hammer or the internet itself, generative AI is just a tool. It can be used to build the most incredible things, or it can be used to cause real harm. The power and the responsibility is in our hands. The only question left is, how will we choose to use it?